Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. It's so nice to have you here, whether it's a Friday or a Saturday, or you're watching us on the replay. We welcome you. Our show today is Coexistence and Sustainability. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I'm super excited about this topic today. We're going to be talking about ants Unveiled. We're going to be talking about what happens from the ants to the anthill to you going, ah! And with me is our in-house expert on so many topics under coexistence and sustainability, as well as everything having to do with being a pet psychic. Welcome from California in the US of A. It's pet psychic Aminah. Hello, welcome, and join us here on stage.
Thank you so much. And loving our green background, favorite color. She didn't know that, everybody, until you picked it. And I was like, oh, look at that. Miracles work when we're just going with our energy and our goodness. And that's what we're spreading here is knowledge. Knowledge to do better. Knowledge to be better. And I hope that's what you take away. And always feel free to drop me a question. And Dr. Jacalyn's got so many great hosts here to walk you through so many better ways to live day to day. So thanks for coming.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. And you're definitely going to take away some really important learnings, because I know I continue to every single time. And we've been together now. I didn't put the episode number, but it's a long time. It's longer.
It is. Isn't it amazing? I just, what I love is I've been here since you started the show, and I've gotten to see all of us grow and change and just really refine the message. What's the one constant thing is always the content we've all brought has been so high class. And then you matched it with these fabulous graphics behind, and upgrading the cameras and all of that kind of stuff that just comes with doing our job even better every day. Because somebody had to invent that straw. Whoever was spilling their drink everywhere.
Yes.
Had to come up with this teeny little tube with a hole down the middle and go, yeah, now that's an idea.
That's pretty cool. Absolutely. And, just to add to that, because I was thinking about this yesterday, in the last 2 years, I published 9 books. I never wrote a book before. It's because of all the creativity. It's all of us, the ideas that come from being together. And that reminds me of ants. There's so many of them. When you see them, they're all on top of each other. I don't even know how they do it. So we were discussing backstage, there are a number of different types of ants, but people usually do not value them. They step on them. And meanwhile, what they're building is amazing. Tell us more.
And what you really, I want people to walk away from this, because I'll say it a few times. If you want to know how humans decided how to build their homes and make gullies and waterways and sprinklers in the house so that a house doesn't burn down as fast, or all of this construction was brought on by nature. And the ants had a huge part in that. They are like the kings of structure. If you haven't gone to a place in the whole world, there are so many types of ants and insects, and they've got it down. They know how much sand or needs a rock or it needs to go over here, or they know that the rainwater is going to come right through the middle. I'll tell you, if we could get everybody to study ants and then get a college education in construction, I think we would be ahead of the game tremendously, because it's all about balance and accessibility to a stable environment, whatever that is. You put two boards together, put this. Ants are amazing at their building structures, building whole colonies underground, where you think, oh, that's just sand. Well, how does it stay up? And those are the wonderful things to figure out about ants. Why I keep saying, please don't kill them. Do we want them in our house? No, no. There's plenty of ways that you can prevent animals and bugs and those types of things. You can talk to the exterminators, you can talk to people that do it holistic, and there are means to stop it. Dr. Jacalyn, have you ever had the baby oil Skin So Soft from Avon?
Avon
Great
calling.
stuff.
Ding dong.
Guess what it also does? Repels bugs.
Away bugs, yes.
It's wonderful. And when I was camping, I would just put on a little cotton ball or tissue paper, whatever I had in those places. I'd dab it around. Man, they couldn't stand that stuff. Everybody got tired of smelling rose petal number 3 or whatever it was. But it's harmless. And what I'm trying to say always, always, always is do no harm. So please, please think about, before you use Raid, before you use a toxic chemical that will kill the environment and the native plants that you're in, or the exotic ones, whatever that is, or you decide to drown them. Well, that took an awful lot of water, because ants can swim and float quite well and get out of there. You need to really look at what we all need to do this together. We all need to do this together, is look at what we're doing. What method are we using? A fly swatter, done. You just have to wipe up the body afterwards. But there's no chemicals involved. Your dog or cat is now not on the danger list of licking the wall or chasing the fly and licking the wall or whatever, because he didn't know that you sprayed with Raid or some other toxic chemical. There are ways to do this that are less lethal to the rest of the planet and to the rest of us, and God forbid, your children or your pets.
Absolutely. Excellent points. Something else that you brought up that I think really needs for us to dive deeper is that what we see on the surface with the ants, and I was mentioning this to you, in between the cracks of sidewalk, there are these round mounds of sand with the hole in the middle, and which I always find interesting, because how did they get through the concrete to get down there? But I don't know how they do it. But anyway, what I read was that if you were able to have a microscope and take a little tour, I guess it's kind of like our intestines, where it just keeps going, but they have little rooms that are used. Tell us more about these rooms.
Well, and what's really wonderful and fascinating is there are so many professional, just like there's people that raise honeybees, there are people that raise ants. And they bring them to schools and they bring them out. And what is great is we now can put in clear sides, and they bring the ants and the type of sand and soil they need for that type of ant. And what is fascinating, I got to see this as a child when people would bring it to our schools. So what's great about the internet, you can do it there too. And you're going to see the workmanship and the camaraderie, the pecking order, and all of that comes together. So the entire group survives. So you've got the ones that are out hunting, you've got the ones that are out building, the ones that are getting resources, the ones that are getting a dot of water. That's what they can carry at one time. Same with honeybees. You're going to see the insect world in general has the most amazing cohabitation with not only other bugs and species and animals and that type of stuff, but within their own species. So you'll see a hive of bees. I keep telling everybody the best, safest time to be around a hive of bees, not when they're in the hive, is when they're swarming. And Dr. Jacalyn, you remember what I said about the swarm? Why is it so safe?
Because they're protecting the queen and they're just trying to go from point A to B.
Yeah, they don't care about you.
Right.
We are the carnivore. We are the danger, but we're also kind of idiotic when we don't know what we don't know. Right. So you have the queen in the middle that she's probably just been born because they've left the other queen behind. Now they've got enough to go on. And they're going to a place they've already marked out. It could be 5 miles away and they're up on the side of a building because they're tired. So if you can put out a dish of water within 20 yards, that gives them a chance to get a drink. They'll get up on a building. They'll get up on the side of a house. They'll get up on a tree because they're tired. So think about that, because everything that we pollinate or need pollinated, because we don't actually do the pollinating, you need a honeybee for. So the same thing with the ants. We might not know what red ants or purple ants or green ants or the really big ants or the really small ants, what they do. And there's tons of plethora of information on the good old World Wide Web to look that up. But what I ask is think about, they don't want anything to do with you. We are the carnivore. We are the extra thing that takes up a great deal of space on this planet. And we don't need to. We don't need to. It's just when you understand. It's the same thing when somebody says, oh, pit bulls, all bad. Poodles, all good. Chihuahuas, very yappy. You can't say that about a nationality or a person coming from a certain country, and you can't say that about animals. You can't say that about nature. Every year it's going to rain 3 inches. Yeah, how's that working for you lately in this environment and this climate change? Everything changes. Everything changes. And I put together I did the research in National Geographic on some fabulous facts I want to share with everybody. How's that, Dr. Jacalyn? You ready for the fabulous facts?
Yeah, let me have it. Give it to me.
Okay. These are 10 of the favorite fabulous facts. And this is Nat Geo's Kids Magazine is where I'm getting this. It is a super wonderful information. And they really bring it down simple. So number 1, there are over 30,000 ant species worldwide. 12,000. So if you think you're going to eradicate them, probably not. I hope not, because we really, really, really need them. And you can ask them to live other places. That's what I do. I was like, nope, not the kitchen. You get to go live in the garage or somewhere else. But I didn't know that it was that large. I thought we were maybe in the thousands, but not 12,000.
It's a lot.
Ranging from the ant you might find scuttling. I love how they put that. Scuttling across your picnic table. The ants building underground fortresses, and in the rainforest. There's flying ants, walking ants, digging ants. It's just a plethora. Number 2, the bullet ant. Don't you love that name? The bullet ant. I'd love to know how they got that. Is said to have the most painful sting in the world.
Wow.
In the world. I did not know that. I did not know that there was an ant that was worse than like a bee, or I don't know, any of the reptiles that sting. You would think, no, that can't be. It's amazing. That's, again, why National Geographic is such an amazing resource for your kids and yourself for just this fun stuff. So living in humid jungle conditions such as the Amazon, their sting has been compared to being hit by a bullet.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Hit by a bullet.
Absolutely
I
not.
would not recommend that. I would not recommend that. Fire, this is number 3. Fire ants cause over 3 billion, and they have it in pounds, so everybody can translate it, worth of damage every year. 3 billion. And we're all talking about, you know, something smaller than my fingernail. This is really small. So North America's red imported fire ant, I'd love to know who imported them, but bugs and things travel on our suitcase in trains, planes. They don't have to just be brought over by somebody who thought they would make a great pet. But that's how we get a lot of cross species. So North America's red imported fire ant might only be little, but the tiny critters have a painful bite, which causes a burning sensation, hence the name fire ant. I always wondered, because luckily I've never been bitten by a fire ant. They say it's really deadly, which costs the U.S. millions in veterinarian and medical bills every year. Because your animals are going to be out there coexisting with them. But obviously, once in a while, they probably don't go very well. They've also been known to cause damage to a farmer's crop. So that's a real, be respectful of this one, right? A fire ant. And I don't know you, Dr. Jacalyn, I have never personally met a fire ant that I'm aware of. We don't have them in California. And I've been a lot of places, but I didn't look for them. Can you imagine?
Yeah, let's let them find us.
Yeah, maybe. I'm running. Unless they fly. Okay,
What about flying ants? Go ahead. We'll get to that later.
Ants are the longest living insect. I didn't know that. I thought it'd be one of the butterflies. Like, you know, monarchs and everybody, they all cocoon and go back and all that. Didn't think it'd be the teeny tiny little ant. Did you?
Absolutely not.
I know. I mean, that's why you got to read. You got to read. You got to get all these fabulous information. Unlike some bugs who might only live for days or even hours, like we're hoping the mosquito. I don't know about you. I'm hoping it's
Yes.
minutes. The queen ant of one particular species. Oh, and let's see if I can say it. Pogomenitmix. Okay, that's what I'm going with. Owehibi. I don't even know how to say
Wow, I don't know what language you're
can
speaking right
live up to 30 years. 30 years. An ant can live 30 years. So be careful not to stand on her. Okay? Meaning you'll lose. You'll lose.
He knows where you live, by the way.
I know. 30 years. I just, again, I love what I learned in Nat Geo. Number 5 on the list, the ant is one of the world's strongest creatures in relation to its size. And we've all seen these wonderful pictures of an ant carrying an entire leaf that's like 6 times their size.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's just amazing. I don't know if you've seen, there's one of the bugs is, I don't know if it's part of the ant family, but I think so. It's a leaf, what do they call it? Anyways, it carries leaves, a leaf cutter ant. Oh, I can't believe I remembered that after that was like 10 years ago, college. And it will carry the leaf with it. And then they take it to the, back to their den and all that and use it. But imagine the strength of 50 times their body weight. 50. So number 6, ants hold the record for the fastest movement in the animal kingdom. Jaguars and the cats, you've just been kicked. Ants are outstripping. Now, you're not going to get, a leopard and run them with an ant. That's not how this works. It's science, and they're going to size, dimension, little legs, and that's how the scientists make that all that science together. So the aptly named species of trap jaw ant can close its jaws at 140 miles per hour, closes jaw, which it uses to kill its prey or injure predators. Imagine if that bit you on the bum. That's what they wrote. Youch, I think I'd be running. But you know what? It would be one of those small bites. I don't know what if I've been stung or something and I don't recognize it at the time. I just go, oh, wow. And then you have the poison or the what is it? The needle from the honeybee or something like that gets left in your skin. You're wondering why you're still hurting. Can you imagine? 140 miles per hour. Okay, coming up on number 7, ants can be found on every single continent except Antarctica.
Oh.
I doubt it stays warm enough. And there's the whole topography in Antarctica is a whole different. Ironically, really, when you consider the name, Antarctica,
Ants.
it's like okay, that's a little prophetic. And number 8, ants are social insects which live in colonies. The colony also is called a formicary. I don't know where that's from. It is made up of one or more egg-laying queens and a large amount of female workers. Ants who tend to her. That's what the ants are doing. They're making sure that she's breeding and the eggs are taken care of, and they're build and maintain the nest, forage for food, and care for the young. Male ants have wings. A lot of people don't know that. I've seen too many people make that mistake, and they're like, no, they fly away. So male ants have wings, and their only function, guess what their only function is, Dr. Jacalyn? Come on, guess. Starts with an M, 3 letters.
3 letters?
Uh-huh. Starts with an M.
Men?
Yeah. Male ants have wings, and their other functions to mate with the queen. That's it. That's all they do.
Mate has 4 letters.
I know. I didn't say 4. Did I say 3?
You said 3.
Oh, well, there you go. There's my Freudian slip, and I made it harder. Male ants have wings, and their only function, it actually says this, is to mate with the queen.
Interesting.
Can you imagine that lineup? That's all they have to do. Wow. When they say the women are doing the work, here's another great example. Number 9, ants don't have ears, and some of them don't have eyes.
Wow.
Can you imagine working on that scale of construction alone? And wow. Yeah, ants, quote unquote, listen by feeling the vibration. All animals do this, by the way, not just insects. But when that's your only means, that you're going to be doggone really great at it. That's why dogs and cats know about earthquakes before we do. They can feel the earth vibration change. And we're just not sensitive enough to it. We're probably too busy, doing our other things. From the ground, they're the vibrations on the ground, and they feel it in their feet. And eyeless, no eyes, ants such as the driver ant species can communicate by using their, any guesses?
Wings?
Antennas.
Oh.
Antennas. So think about like our eyebrows. You raise your eyebrow, you lower your eyebrow, all of that. Antennas are going to even have more depth of movement than what we have. Plus, they can send chemical signals called pheromones. We're all very aware of the pheromones that we all seem to have, released through their body to send a message to other ants. So it's going to be fear, I'm in danger, I'm ready to breed, I need food, whatever the conversation, they send out warnings when danger's near, leave trails of pheromones leading to the food sources, and even use them to attract a mate, a sort of love potion. They wrote that, I didn't. They actually put that in there. And 10, the largest ant's nest ever found was over, want to guess?
Over
And
the
I'll help
river.
you here. It's
Okay.
not in inches or feet. It's miles.
What?
Exactly. And it's 4 digits.
No.
Yeah. The largest ant nest ever found. Now remember, this is the one we found.
Right.
30, and this is over 3,700 miles.
Come on.
Why?
Do they have pictures?
Why? No, they did not. But guess what? Google. Everybody go and Google the largest one. Found in Argentina in 2000, the ingenious colony, I know I just ripped that one up, but colony housed 33 ant populations, which had merged into one giant super colony with millions of nests and billions of workers. Can you imagine
Does it
how
say if it's still in
amazing
existence?
that would be to see?
Does it say it's in existence still?
Well, it doesn't, but all you have to do is go and say, hey, can I go see this? And I truly hope that it still exists, because that means some silly human went and said, oh, I want to touch it. I want to take a picture. I want a selfie, and bumped into it and all the ants died. Yeah, don't even get me started on what we could have done to it.
While you're talking.
So this is really, really wonderful stuff. And I hope, the reason I do extra research when we're getting together for our show is because I really want to bring you guys something new, something even new for me, because I'm going to be just as excited as a kid in the candy store for refreshing my own education and looking at new pieces of information. What I want everybody to understand is we need to coexist, and need should be we must, because all of these animals and these bugs all have a purpose, and we all are on this planet for some reason also. I hope we all find a purpose. And Dr. Jacalyn, I know from talking to the other co-hosts and seeing their work, and all of that we're doing on this channel alone is amazing. I want people to see how excited I get about reading about ants, because there's so much natural world. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface on all the things. I mean, look at all the things just you and I got to be surprised about. Because I of course, did the research to find the article and everything, but I made sure I didn't read that for the last 2 or 3 days. So I'd have that excitement again and go, oh, that's right. That's going to be there. People don't realize that it's okay to be afraid of things. It's okay to be afraid of snakes and rattlers and the honeybee. But what I ask you to do is have the grace to back away and say, you know what? I'm in your territory. Most times when you run into bees, snakes, turtles, I don't know, reptiles of any kind, you're in their territory.
Right.
So please have the respect and say, you must need to be here. You must have a grand plan. Just because I don't understand it, or I don't understand why wasps, or I'm still waiting for the mosquito explanation. But there must be. I'd love to hear the science. But just know, everybody, even the neighbor who throws their trash out on the curb and it's actually not in the trash can and drives us crazy, we are there to learn something, to be challenged by that. And I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, But I want to say we're probably in the same boat, just going through the world, and we've learned so much by our challenges.
True.
And it's made a memory.
Yes.
If things are easy, we don't remember. We don't make a change. If it's easy, yeah. How many people in the world do not have Costco and don't have Lucky's or Safeway or whatever, or farmer's market? Goodness sakes. I remember going to the farmer's market for the first few times and was like, wow, this is neat. I grew up in a desert where everything was shipped to us. I thought fruit was pretty gross all the way up until I left for college. Everybody's like, you don't eat fruit? I was like, yeah, it's nasty. And I found out it was pesticides on the apricots or the apples. They picked them before they were not completely ripe because they had to ship them so far. So they were a little on the green side. So my experience with fresh fruit and vegetables was yucky. I didn't know that it was the process, because they had to get it to market and get it down. And so it didn't get to be as wonderful as it should. And then I moved to a town that was a agricultural community. Wow, what a difference, because I got to buy local. I got to buy it from the farmers. And I was like, wow, I've really been missing things. But you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's what we're here for.
It's funny because on one of our other shows, one of our team members, Red O'Loughlin, he was talking about allergies and he was talking to the guests, and he happened to say that he had all these bad allergies. And then he found out about local honey and he started using the local honey, taking it, I think, an eighth of a teaspoon or something. And they all went away. Can you remind us about that?
Yep. And I've done exactly the same thing. Exactly. And we've talked about it before. What you need to do if you suffer from allergies, specifically plant allergies, cats, dogs, you might have to come at it a little bit different, little cat at a time, hug them little at a time. Don't overwhelm your immune system. So what I did, and what a lot of people will agree with me, especially the beekeepers, is I was seriously just dribbling, run pockets of Kleenex constantly. And I led a children's program for honeybees to come out to I worked at a museum, and it was a reenacted like town around us. So I got a beekeeper. He brought in the hives, which were great, made wonderful flowers. The trees did better. Everything did better. And in that, we taught the kids, and I learned along with them from the beekeeper how to be safe. That wasn't supposed to be a pun. How to be safe, how to wear the proper, suit when we're working, and understand that those little honeybees, 90% of what you're seeing are females, are out to make more honey and to protect the queen. They have no interest in you. You're a carnivore. They're vegetarian. They don't care about you. And I learned how to be safe. Now, I maybe want to quantify that it might have been a little easier for me, because I had already, from the time I was, I think I might have been 10 when I started, was working with snakes and working with later big cats and all of these things. So I had already the skills on how to temper my response and have it calm. Because a bee's going to get all that pheromone and all that heat and all that angst and going, oh my God, where's the fire? Maybe literally if they don't smell anything. So it really helps our persons, our person inside, the people you are, by learning how to calm your nerves, be around something that might scare you. And that's okay. It's the growth. Honeybees deserve a better chance. If you're like me and you have no yard anymore, I'm in a condo now, but my stairs up to my front door and the little patio, I just switched everything into florals because I want to participate in feeding the bees. We really need to do that. We really need to do that. We've created such a decimation of everything that they need. And that's how we get our food. So start there. Start wherever you can, even if it's one little flower, one little plant that blooms, because you need that pollen. And that typically comes on the flowers. And you can get these anywhere. You can go to the hardware stores that have like Lowe's and Home Depot and these types of places, and Walmart and all of these things. They're going to get plants in. And if you don't know how to do it, that's what these great channels are about. You can learn a lot online. And if you go to the right nursery, they will help you, walk you through, this is the kind of soil you need, this is that. And yeah, I can see you might be concerned about being upsoiled. So do your own research, because the internet is a plethora of knowledge. And that's where we can start. One plant at a time.
You can always get a cactus.
Absolutely. And they bloom.
They do.
And they bloom. So you need just a good sunny space, and they're just magical. They're just magical. And they really need pretty much nothing. Water once a year, maybe. It just depends on what you got.
And they have those,
same thing.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was in an office, and this woman had a window and a ledge, and then she had the blinds coming down, and she had this big, I think they're called Christmas or Easter cactus.
Yeah.
And she said it wouldn't grow any higher. And I said, well, did you think of moving the blind up? Maybe it was only growing because that was the amount of light that you see. I'm like, yeah. So she said, okay, I'll give it a try. But she said it was really low maintenance. So that's a nice option for somebody as well. Yeah.
And the succulents and cactus are wonderful for beginners. Wonderful. Don't go to a Rhodes. They need a lot of attention. And that's just the way we have designed them. They are now designer flowers. Roses are in bouquets and all that kind of stuff. Go and find something that, like a succulent or like some of the other leafy plants, that if their branch breaks, literally you either put it in water or put it in some dirt and it grows back. You need a plant that does that, and give it a try. I know from experience for myself, when I finally was on my own, I suck at seeds. And this year, I finally had a lot more success, because I was putting too much pressure on me. Because here I teach it and I talk about it and all this. I'm not perfect. That's where I struggle. What you guys don't see across from my desk is this teeny tiny little succulent. He's literally this little. So one of these days I'll bring him over to see. And I just rescued him. He'd fallen out of his plant, and guess what? We have 6 new leaves. Now the leaves are teeny tiny because it's just a teeny tiny plant, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful to say, I finally got that one to grow, and win what you can, and learn from what challenges you're given. It's okay.
Absolutely. Excellent point. And by the way, just because it's small doesn't mean it's not mighty. And
Exactly.
you're taking care of it, and it's your baby, and you watch it bloom and grow, and you had a lot to do with that. So I absolutely love that. And as we get ready to change seasons here in the US, which other parts of the world, our dear friend from New Zealand, Mariska Dupree, she's in New Zealand one day ahead of us, and they've been in winter. And so we are moving into fall, I believe, maybe today, actually. Does anyone know about that? Isn't it September 21st or 22nd? Does anyone know?
I don't know. I have not ever been a person that keeps up on that kind of stuff, because I go outside and go, okay.
Yeah.
It's sunny, it's bright. I live in California, people. So it's like, and we do have all topographies, but I'm on the Central Coast. So it's just like, yeah,
I'm looking it up real fast. Guess what it is? The first day of fall here in the US of A is tomorrow.
Well, good. Look at your instincts.
September 23rd. So I'm excited about this, because we're going to have some new topics as well as we move into fall, and things are changing. And we know when things change, people start to freak out. So we always like to bring things back to a foundation of stability. Right. And Aminah is providing world-class education here each and every week. How can people reach out to you? How can they join your Facebook group? Because, people, you give the info, not you in general, people give the information, but a call to action, like go and join, like go to your Facebook and look up her Facebook group and ask to join. Tell us how it works. You have to have permission?
Absolutely. No, I have Bridging Worlds Facebook page and all the stuff we're talking about. So I will take this wonderful article that I wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to read with me. I will share that on my Facebook page. I am only on LinkedIn and the Facebook page. I've decided to go really simple because really, Dr. Jacalyn, I've poured my heart and soul into the lives here. So this is how you're going to hear my actual voice and not the written one. But I like silly and I like happy and I like education. And sometimes we have to talk about end of life. It is a skill that I do work with owners a lot with end of life issues on their pets. So I'm going to help and share all of that with you because having knowledge and wanting more, I really want to be out there because I learn from my clients. I learn from my clients and hopefully they learn some compassion for themselves and other wonderful ways to coexist with everything. Even the mosquito. Sorry, we're kind of stuck with those.
Fantastic. It's all about coexistence. It's
Absolutely.
about empathy, compassion, respect. I honor you, Pet Psychic Aminah. Is it this
Thank
way?
you.
So, we will be back next week. We're super excited. In the interim, you can go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio. You can look for Coexistence and Sustainability with Pet Psychic Aminah and find all of the shows over there. What are you going to do? You're going to go to Facebook and you're going to look up Bridging Worlds. You're going to connect. You're going to go to LinkedIn and you're going to connect. So please do it because that's why we're here.
Absolutely. And I do take requests. So if somebody wants to write to me, I many times a client will come and you have this issue or whatever. If you want me to cover it on the show, that's what I'm here for. Dr. Jacalyn's whole platform is learning and doing better and having these wonderful children's books and having these wonderful singers and speakers. So feel free to reach out to any of us. And I know for me, you want to hear about something, I'll be glad to research it if it's not something I already know. I want to learn more. I always want to learn more.
Thank you, Aminah. And if you reach out, you'll find an answer. You'll find a collaboration. If you sit and think about, I wish I reached out, nothing's happening. So
you'll still know nothing.
You'll still know nothing.
Because I don't know you. I have tools that I bought, and nobody knows how to these camera parts, and nobody, even the camera people, can't help me. So there it sits in the box. So that was a good purchase, right?
That's a good example that if you don't reach out to find out how to use it, you're not going to be able to.
Exactly. There it will sit on the dining room table for the rest of the
We all have things like that. Or extra screw to this, whatever. But
exactly.
All right.
Have
bye,
a
everyone.
fabulous weekend.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.